Hey, this is Backcountry Outdoors, and today we are going to go over how to paint a lure that's already been painted, that's scratched up in your tackle box, or you don't like the color of what you got and you want to change the color of it. What I do is I look at the online forums and see, you know, what people are asking question wise, and we're going to repaint this ugly joker right here. It's been laying around in the tackle box for a long time, so you can see it's a little scratched up, dinged up. So we're going to try and make him look good. Try. I said try. Alright, keep watching us. We'll see what we turn it into. Alright, we got first color loaded up. And we'll zoom in on this thing right here. Got our first color loaded up, and we're going to give him a good coating of white. Just a good old coating of white. Get him based up really good. And this is the thing that's going to take the most time, because you've got to get all the old colors gone. You want him solid white. And sometimes this may take multiple coats depending on what colors you got. This one was real light color, so I can get it covered up pretty good. And if you got any chips in it, real bad dings, you're probably going to have to sand them down, get all the dings out of it. That's when the prep work really comes in, is when you got one that's dinged up pretty bad. Alright, I believe we got him coated up pretty good. I'll get the next color loaded up and I'll get back with you. Alright, our next color that we got up is transparent. And this, I don't know if you can see it or not because I got paint all over it, but it is leaf green. This is what I use for my frog patterns, and I love the frog patterns on top water plugs, especially here in Georgia. They do very well. It's one of my favorites. I paint a lot of jitterbugs, and I use the frog pattern on them, and that's what I use for my top paint. And we're going to go all the way down the sides with it, just before the belly line. And you get a yellowing effect with this paint, and I like that because it's the transparent. And sometimes I take a little yellow and brighten it up just a little bit. Sometimes I don't, because it gives a little yellowing effect at the base right here where you stop leaving off. All right, we're gonna get the next color loaded up because that's all we're gonna do on that. Is we got him painted up there. Get that thing focused, and you can see we just left the belly white and painted the rest of him green. We're going to load up some black and get right back to you. Alright, we got a little transparent black loaded up in this thing. And we're going to get our little stencil here. And we're going to lay it across the back of this joker. And just frog him up just a little bit. Yes, we did his eyes, but right now we're gonna, while we got the black loaded up, we are going to put a little paint on them eyeballs, because this one don't have the glue in eyeballs. It had them cut into the pattern, so we're gonna black them up a little bit. And we are going to come back and do a little bit more to the inside of the eyeball. Almost what we had to begin with that we covered up. Going to do almost the same thing. But as you can tell, he is starting to look pretty good. Making him look like a little frog. We'll get the next color loaded up and we'll go around his eyes and we're going to do a little bit to the belly. And then we'll dip him some KBS and we'll see exactly what we got here in just a second. Alright, we got the next color loaded up and we are just going to fill in some of this eye in yellow. We may have to get some paint on the brush. I don't know if this yellow is going to fill it in. I done a little practice run while ago and it is not doing too good, so I'm going to have to repaint over all my black I put in while ago because I didn't want to get a black overspray on my yellow, but and unfortunately this may take a couple of coats. Let's see what we can do with the paintbrush. See if it does any better. That might work. Just take a couple of coats. We'll get his eyeballs yellow and then I'll get back with you. Alright, after a lot of hand painting, a lot of hand coating, it took about 30 minutes. And I had to go get some real thick fabric acrylic paint to finally get his eyes to turn back yellow. You live, you learn. I should have known better than to try to put the black on them first. But that's what we got right there. We'll get the KBS out and we'll dip it in it and we'll see how he sparkles and shines. But it's real easy to repaint. If you got an old bait and it's sitting in your tackle box and you want to make it look good again, just take it out, repaint it. You don't have to do nothing really special, like I said, unless you got a bunch of cracks in it. If you got a bunch of cracks and divots in it, it's not going to do too well. Not going to do too well. Got a phone call coming in. Due to the cracks are going to show up. If it's a real big like skint place, you're going to see it. If you're not worried about that, it's going to stay in your tackle box. Really ain't got to do nothing. Paint it, clear coat it. We'll get the KBS and get him dipped up here. Let's get a look at what he looks like here. The KBS dripping off of him. He'll catch some fish, I guarantee you. Alright, we'll get him hung up and we'll come back and talk with you. Alright, we got that painted up and hopefully you learned something real neat there, that you can repaint your old lures without having to do a whole lot to them and make them look new again. And the way I get a lot of the stuff that I do on here is I look at forums and look at questions people are having, and especially new beginners or some of the older guys who've never repainted any. May not even know that you didn't really have to touch them. You can just go right back over them and they will last. And a lot of times the KBS clear coat I found is a lot better than what they put on it from factory anyway. KBS will take a beating, I promise. It's got its downsides. If you want to go fish with it right then, you're not going to do it because it takes a while for it to cure. But especially in this hot Georgia heat, it don't take long for mine to cure. Usually next day or two I can go out and fish with the lure and beat it and bang it off these creek rocks and some of the river rocks that I fish in. We went fishing this weekend, and I threw one that we painted on YouTube and beat the fire out of it, and it worked perfect. No problems, no issues. So I hope you liked it, and if you did, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate everybody, and y'all have a good time fishing. Backcountry out.